Tyra, let me tell you what kind of a liar you are. So, you met up with Roy and said you didn't do anything because there was cameras all over the place. You met up with Tommy and you said you didn't want to do anything because there's cops all over the place. And in both cases, you said you didn't want to risk your freedom. Well, if you were just going to fight them, we're talking 24 to 48 hours at max, at the very most, until the police figure out what's going on. And then people start getting released. Probably sooner than that. And you're Mr. Lawman. You're the one who supposedly went in on gun charges, having a shootout in the middle of the street, another bullshit lie, and got out like through an all-white jury, acquitted. Another lie. But whatever. So Roy is there. This guy has taken your airline tickets. He's had you swatted, recorded himself doing it. You showed this video to the police. And everybody knows what it is. So he comes to your city, films himself walking around, and you show up to where he is. For what? For what? If you didn't plan on doing anything, you shouldn't have went. Period. But seeing as you do have history with this person, and he did take your airline tickets, and he did have the police called on you, you'd probably want to show up. I'd want to show up. But what do you do when you get there? Nothing. You pull out your camera, you record a couple of seconds of it, you go home, you go live, and then you lie saying that you put somebody on him, somebody to watch him, somebody who was following him, yet you didn't know where he was and you were begging people to tell you where he was. All lies. Now, if it were me in that scenario, and the same things that happened to me, I'd have at the very least held him until the police showed up. I mean, you've done this before, right, Tyra? Didn't some girl run her car into another car in front of where you lived before, and you supposedly held her down until the police came? Didn't crackheads go into the houses next door to you, and you went in like you were playing Call of Duty and put them at gunpoint and send them on their way? Wasn't there some kid being jumped in your alley and you went out and you helped him? Didn't Donna get a hot beef and cheddar thrown in her face and supposedly you went and wrapped the guy around a pole, as you said? So you're not a stranger to grabbing people and holding them until the police show up, right? Why didn't you grab Roy? Oh, too many cameras, right? Too many cameras for you to grab Roy? Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's talk about the castle doctrine. So Roy was standing in front of a convenience store. Doesn't matter why. He had the right to be there. Doesn't matter how far he came. It wasn't your house. He was in front of a convenience store. He was live streaming, and he was nowhere near you or doing anything to you at that time. You showed up and said because he put his hands in his pocket, because he moved a little funny, that you had every right to shoot him and that the castle doctrine would have protected you. Wrong. The castle doctrine applies to your house, to your car, and even in some instances, if you were inside the store and somebody was trying to rob you in that store, it might apply to you there. None of the above was happening between you and Roy. You left your house to seek Roy. You went to him and told him to take his hands out of his pocket and told him, like, you know, what is it you want to do to me, trying to bait him into saying something. You were the aggressor. You showed up, you started yelling at him and had your hand on your gun. Everybody saw this. It was on film. There were witnesses. You were the aggressor. If you would have pulled out your gun and shot Roy, your ass would be in jail with the booty warrior right now. And he'd be asking you if you want to do it the easy way or the hard way. And you would do it the easy way because you're not a stranger to it. You would definitely do it the easy way. So, Mr. Lawman, I would think you would know, you would understand how you were the aggressor in that case. You went to Roy. You had a gun. You were the one being threatening and loud. Roy was just standing there. And as far as people saying like Roy was a coward, Roy was definitely not a coward for showing up there. Was it stupid? Yeah, it was probably stupid if he didn't have another reason for being there. If his sole reason for being there was to record himself saying that he was in Indy to goad Tyra into coming out, not so smart. But was it cowardly? Not even close, because he knew Tyra would see this video. He came to Tyra's city. He was in an area that Tyra would know about. He went to several areas that Tyra would know about, and he had to have known that Tyra might have showed up. There was a chance that Tyra could have shown up. He stayed there until Tyra showed up, and he knows Tyra always has a gun. So none of this was unexpected. Roy knew this. Plus the fact that he had did some stuff that the police probably want to talk to him about. Roy knew all this, yet he still went live. He stood there, he confronted Tyra, and then he left. Nothing cowardly about that. Not very smart, but whatever. Then there are other videos out there talking about Tyra was too smart to catch a charge on silly little cases like this. Well, if that's the case, that Tyra is too smart to catch a charge for petty little things like this, then why on earth should anyone go down there and do anything? Why should Tommy have swung on Tyra? Why should Vic go down and swing on Tyra? Why should Jim wait for Tyra and swing on him and catch a case of any kind, whether it's that they get hurt or they hurt someone? Why should they be dumb and actually provoke this guy who carries a gun into possibly using that gun? Wouldn't that be smart? Seeing as you're saying Tyra is smart for not shooting Roy, for not hitting Roy, for not hitting Tommy, that he's not going to get hemmed up for it. Well, everyone else is smart for not being around, for going in, having their goals set, whether it's to put up flyers or just to drive by or whatever, getting whatever it is done, and then leaving, as opposed to provoking a situation where violence will be necessary and getting messed up and hemmed up on charges over YouTube. But y'all don't see it that way. Whatever. And then people want to say that it's not a win for us because Roy came from Tyra's camp. Okay, Roy did come from Tyra's camp. And then people go on to say that Roy flipped on Tyra and nobody knows why. I can tell you why. It had to do with the black Charger. The black Charger had drove by Tyra's house several times. The black Charger was a menace to Tyra at the time. And he had said something to the extent of he's not gonna mention any names, but if somebody happens to drive by and something happens, that he didn't want to get in trouble with the police. And Roy typed in chat, "Who are you talking about? Black Charger?" Tyra freaks out, gets mad, and goes, "Why did you post his name in my chat? Why did you post that in my chat?" blocked him, and cursed him out for no reason, asking him if he was talking about the black Charger. That's why Roy flipped, and I'm putting air quotes out there, flipped on Tyra. And as far as Roy running to Tommy, no. Roy has never run to Tommy. Roy goes at everybody. Roy goes at Tommy. Roy goes at Vic. Roy goes at Kong, at Greg. Roy's come at me. Roy goes at Lady La. Who hasn't Roy gone at? Roy is a free agent. He goes at everybody. So he didn't flip for anyone. Tyra flipped on him, and he came back at Tyra. People aren't mad at Roy because he was part of Truth Nation. People are mad at Roy because Roy is reckless with his words. Roy likes to use the N-word. Roy likes to call people out his name and do stuff kind of erratically. Roy has beef with people because of the words that come out of his mouth, and that's it. It has nothing to do with Tyra. So for you to say it's not a win for us because he came out of your camp and it's an in-house thing, that is totally irrelevant. Where the win for us comes in is that Tyra yet again met up with somebody that he supposedly had beef with and threatened to kill multiple times, carried his gun, walked up to the person, claimed he was going to do something, and did jack shit. Did absolutely nothing. He wears that gun like he drinks his alcohol for courage, and that's it. Just in the off chance that somebody happens to hit him one day, if he gets a chance to pull that gun and shoot, he will. That is the last shred of manhood left in his body, that gun. Everything else about him is feminine. From his name to his tiny little frame to his mannerisms and his crying and all that stuff, he's a complete female. The only thing that's even partially manly on him is that gun. That's it. Everything else about him, completely female. He puts down that gun, and I wouldn't want Roy to hit him because it's like hitting a woman. Tyra is a complete joke. He's a female, and he lost his nuts a long time ago. He knows nothing about law. He misinterprets it constantly. He can barely read. And he's a chicken shit. And anybody who backs this guy is a piece of crap. Now, you said some stuff about 47, and I personally can't get mad about it. It's just words. Hell, I said the same thing about Liz. So it is what it is. People are going to catch their feelings about it. I get it. And if people want to get retribution, go for it. If Tyra wants to get retribution on me for saying what I said about Liz, go for it. But that doesn't change the fact, Tyra, you're a punk. You're not going to do anything. You hope everyone else will do stuff for you. Like you said, you had somebody following Roy, which you didn't. Like you said, you were going to put his name out there and his face out there and say all the things he said in hopes that somebody else would do something to him. You're not going to do it. You're a complete coward, Tyra. And believe me, if I get the chance to take you down legally, I'll do it. Lawfully, I'll do it. And if you happen to be within arm's reach of me and I can take you down physically, I would definitely do it. And that's not going to be like just words out there. And then if you're ever in my presence, it'll never happen. No, sir. If I had you within arm's reach of me, I would definitely choke slam you and leave you in an alley somewhere. All right? That's not even just like talk. If you were in arm's reach, I'm not going to go out of my way to find you. I'm not going to put myself in a position where you can just run up on me. But if it ever happens, if the universe ever puts us in the same space, I'll take my 24 hours and I'll post my bail just to get a video or a picture of you sleeping, curled up in the fetal position with your gun.